We're in the Midwestern portion of the United States as we're at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas for the 5-Hour Energy 400 as we're approaching the midway point of the season and the race to the chase is about to be on. Also, the All-Star race coming up in a few races, so that will be very crucial for these drivers to try and get into that, to have a shot at an automatic berth into the chase. On the pole for today's race is Patrick Smith in the 14, 2's outside the 21 of Sebastian Kukulon. Smith is actually third in points coming into this race. Then we have Max Harrison in third, Ryan Taylor in fourth, and Dale Lightning rounds out the top 5. Then we have Mathis Wells in 6th, behind them in 7th, Pinislon in the 77 is our points leader. Then Adam McDowell in 8th, Roberto Rivera in 9th, and Jonathan Buford rounds out the top 10. A pair of pink cars in the next row, Anthony Hernandez and Nathan Stapleton. Then we have Alexander Rowe, Lawrence Pallenpon, Eli Bright with Carter Friesen. And there's Tim Gary and Griffin Lynn. Behind them Landon Lyons and Trip McGinnis. Then we have Justin Lightning and Greg Torres. Then Anton Charbois and TJ Hanley, last season's champion. Then there's Derek Hamill and Code Luigi, Oliver Galloway and Jake Galloway looking for the Kansas Sweep. He won the Pennzoil Truck Series race yesterday. Then Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and Keegan Thompson. Behind them Jeff Wright and Joe Jefferson. Then second in points, Steven Taylor. That's a tough place to start, especially with Celeste starting inside the top 10. Steve Larkert, who is inside. Then we have Josh Crash and Danny Lloyd. Levi Shones with Jacob Davidson. Then there's Charles Roberts, the Pepsi 600 winner. Diego Lopez, who's inside. And in the final row, the 2 Luke Rainey, 2's outside the 78 of Jay Jefferson. There's our 40-car field for the 5-Hour Energy 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Let's get going with our starting command.
Drivers, start your engine!
And the field of 42, firing their engines up, getting ready to roll off the starting grid, led by third in points Patrick Smith and Sebastian Kukulon to his outside. They'll start on the front row for today's 5-Hour Energy 400. So the Kansas Speedway, much like the truck race yesterday, the drafting is going to be very crucial here at the Kansas Speedway. You're going to want to be in the draft down these straightaways and through the corners, try to get runs onto the driver in front. We'll see a lot of that here today. 41 laps of action at the Kansas Speedway in the 5-Hour Energy 400. Third points Patrick Smith starts on the pole. Our points leader Pinislon starts 7th as Steven Taylor, second in points, starts deep in the field. How will the points be shaken up after today? We'll find after 41 laps of action. As the green flag is waving, we're racing in the Midwest at Kansas. Patrick Smith did what he needed to do. He led the lap and got 5 bonus points towards the championship. Slot in the 77 points leader through to second now. As here comes Roberto Rivera to the inside. As they battle side by side for second, give the 77 the advantage off the top side. As they come down the backstretch, Anthony Hernandez, Lawrence Pallenpon, Eli Bright, 300 Motorsport Chevrolets fighting their way through in the bottom lane. They get to 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're trying to get clear right now. The 48-24 have the 1 of Dale Lightning hanging tough from the outside with the 80 of Eli Bright down low. Watch Eli try and get a run here down the front stretch in that draft with the 7 pushing. Now to turn 1, the 88 going to get cleared for 6th. To turn 1. Now Griffin Lynn looking low. Past champion of the Gatorade Cup Series. Here he comes to the front as the front 3. Pulling away as Salata takes a peek for the lead to turn 3. Rivera goes to the high side. But the inside, the place to be. Pinislon, the 77. Clears and he's going to lead lap number 3 here at Kansas. 5 points for the 77 car. And that's big there for Pinislon. Wants to get out front and lead these laps and try and win another race in the Gatorade Cup Series. Now Roberto Rivera to the inside of the 12. Side by side with Patrick Smith. The 12 car going to get off the corner. Side by side down the backstretch. 12 clears. Now Anthony Hernandez for third in the 48 cars. His teammate Lawrence Pallenpon coming behind. Look at Pallenpon looking for third. Down low on his teammate Hernandez. 48 with going off the top side. Trying to get clear. Get down in line. He has a hole. He's trying to get down. The 24 keeps it down there to turn 1. Side by side for third. 2 teammates. Pallenpon down low is going to take it. Griffin Lynn through to 4th. Buford in the 13. A big run to try and get to 5th. Down the backstretch of the race. Griffin Lynn the 7. Lawrence Pallenpon the 24. They battle for 3rd. As the front 2 scoot away, it's Pinislon leading Roberto Rivera around. And now Griffin Lynn for 3rd on Lawrence Pallenpon. As Patrick Smith, our pole sitter, starts to fade back in the 14. Getting passed now by the 88 of Eli Bright. And it looks like the 21 Sebastian Kukulon along with the 18 of Mathis Wells. Griffin Lynn clears for third. Beeford to fourth. Max Anderson in the 98 for fifth. Down the backstretch. Max Anderson in the 98 car. Look at him going for fourth now. So he gets beneath Jonathan Beeford. He'll grab that fourth position. Hernandez in the 48 car. Back up to try and get back inside the top five. He's going for fifth right now in the 13, Jonathan Beeford. He's going to have it. Entering turn one. Lawrence Poundpond, the 24, trying to find his way down line. Does in front of Sebastian Kukulon. Will get beneath Jonathan Beeford as he lap right starts to fade back in the 88 car. Up at the front, single file, pulling away is the 77 Salada. The 12 Rivera trying not to let that 77 get away. They're running pretty similar lap times each time around. The one to worry about is the 7 of Griffin Lynn. As the 12 goes up the racetrack, Lynn staying in that middle lane is going to get the run to try and get to the inside. Rivera shuts the door down low. Lynn's going to get to the inside quickly. That 7 car is pretty fast. Wants to use that speed while he has it. To turn one, Griffin Lynn using once again that low lane down that yellow line. Trying to paint that line. Here's the 200 Motorsports teammates of Hernandez and Lawrence Poundpond 5th and 6th. Kukulon 7th, Beeford 8th, Matthews Wells 9th and E-Lap right rounds at the top 10. Then Jeff Bright, 200 Motorsports, all inside the top 11 currently. And that's something we have not seen the past few seasons. 200 Motorsports has struggled. We'll see if they have found their speed now for this season. They're currently all inside the top 11, but still a lot of racing left. We have not had a caution flag yet. As Griffin Lynn does move to second in the 7 car, he's going to try and chase down the 77 Salada. That's triple sevens in the front 2 positions. Lynn looks just a little bit faster right now. Look at Max Anderson driving to the bottom. Rivera is obviously struggling in the 12 car right now. So the 98 of Max Anderson moves to third. Gets by Roberto Rivera. As Griffin Lynn trying to hunt down the 77 Salada. Right now Penske. Oh! As Rivera knocked the outside wall down to turn one that's harder than the hits we've seen. Penske right now 2 cars inside the top 4. Here comes Anthony Hernandez in the 48 car. He's drafting up onto the 12th. The 21 of Sebastian Kukulon peaked on Lawrence Poundpond. Now the run gets back up in line 7th, but he's going to pay the price. That move really halted his momentum. And now Jonathan Beeford for 7th in the 13 car. But Kukulon going to quickly shut the door on that. Now up for the race lead, this for second. Anderson to the bottom of Griffin Lynn to turn 1. 30 laps to go next time by. Max Anderson going to get to second as Pena Salada continues to pull away and lead the 5-hour Energy 400. Points there up front in the 77 car. Absolutely dominating right now. But a long train of cars behind, and of course we always have that case where a caution could come out and cause some pit stops to where the running order could be shuffled. Lawrence Poundpond going to get by teammate Anthony Hernandez. That's Griffin Lynn. Back to the inside, Max Anderson going to clear as Anderson falls back to 4th, could be 5th. There's a 24 starting to get to the inside. Here comes Lawrence Poundpond. 24 car to the inside of the 98 of Max Anderson. As up in front, Griffin Lynn to the top, Rivera down to the bottom. That's the battle for second, and Pena Salada loving that battle, pulling away each time they get side by side in his mirror. Lynn back to third now in the 7, gets down line. Drafting right back up onto the 12. Poundpond the 24 peaked low. Didn't make the move. But Griffin Lynn back to the inside of the 12 of Rivera. And once again, Pena Salada going to be able to extend that race lead as they battle hard. Behind, almost 3 wide. Beeford almost went to the middle lane right there. Lawrence Poundpond going to grab third in the 24 car. Anthony Hernandez is looking for 4th, but Mathis Wells trying to take a 3 wide in the 18 car. Backs out, that allows Hernandez down in line. The 48 car keeps that 4th position. Mathis Wells now to 5th. Sebastian Kukulon to 6th. Max Anderson coming forward in the 98 car, along with the Hendry Motorsports Brights, Jeff and Eli. The pink number 5, the green number 88 coming forward inside the top 10. They're right now currently scored 10th and 11th, make it 9th and 11th, make it 9th and 10th. Oh, look at Wells to the back bumper, the 48 Fernandez. Maybe almost gave him the bump and run right there. The bumper almost to the back of the 48 car from the front bumper of the 18. They stay in line for now to turn 1. Battle inside the top 5. This for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They have Roberto Rivera back there in 8th. Well, look close for the race if the 7 was leading this race, but Pena Salada has checked out that 77 car, pulling away each time they battle behind. But Griffin Lynn is now cleared in second. Now he's going to have a shot to try and run that 77 down. But my fear is that the 77 is too far out in front for the draft to even affect the 7 and the 24 behind. We had to turn 1. That 77 has pulled a nice gap. It's going to take a caution flag or some sort of issue to happen for them to come together and gain that much on the 77 that fast. So we'll see if they can make ground on that 77 slot, but they're not going to do it like they are right here. Look at them going 4 wide back here. Wells off the gas. Kukulon comes to the inside. Max Anderson is drafter. And that was big and almost contact between 4 of our front 10. And Hernandez keeps fourth through all that as Lawrence Poundpond grabs second. Hernandez drives it to the inside. Griffin Lynn to grab third. The 7 car now fading back in the outside. Look at Max Harrison trying to block Rivera down low. They might go 3 wide to turn 3. They're going to be 3 wide. Rivera to the bottom. 3 wide inside the top 10 as they come off corner number 4. 3 wide down the front stretch. Lynn up top. Aronson in the middle. Rivera down low. To turn 1. Lynn knocks the wall down. Jeff Bright coming to the inside. Down the 5. Rivera slides up. Contact with Max Harrison, who slides way up the track. The 98 fades back. Here comes Jeff Bright forward. Wells Buford to the inside. Here comes Eli Bright. Patrick Smith who started on the pole. Carter, or is that Steve Larker? I'm trying to tell. That is Steve Larker in the 34th. That was Carter Friesen. Look at them going 3 wide again. Patrick Smith in the 14 car. On the 80 of Eli Bright. Puts him in the middle lane. Now Eli gets down line. Shuts the door. We're almost halfway through this event. And they're not racing like it's only halfway. They're racing hard and aggressive. For third. Kukulon grabs it from Anthony Hernandez. As Poundpond is clearing second is pulling away. But the driver is pulled away is a 77 of Pinisolata who's checked out. The front of the field very spread. How about Jeff Bright in the 5 moving forward? But here comes Jonathan Buford to his inside. To the start-finish line. 22 laps of racing to go here at Kansas. Jeff Bright in the 5 moves way all the way up inside the top 5. 3 of the front 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolets. They currently hold 2nd, 4th, and 5th. The other one is Eli Bright in the 80. He's currently inside the top 10 and 8th. How about Dale Lightning coming back forward in the 1 car? The 7 of Griffin Lynn fade all the way back here. Patrick Smith in the 14. Then there's Jake Gowey in the 11. The Penzo Truck Series winner of yesterday. He's up inside the top 15. If he can gain on this front pack, he could have a shot. Now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They are staying orderly for now. Last lap was about slower for the 24 car. Jonathan Buford grabs 5th. Wells to 6th. Jeff Bright on the outside will fall back to 7th, possibly 8th, as his teammate and son, Eli Bright in the 88, coming forward. 20 to go this time by. Eli for 7th, gets beneath Jeff Bright. Steve Larker, 3 wide in the 34. Larker 2 for 1 on that pass. Gets by the 88, gets by the 5. Steve Larker to 7th. Bright keeps 8th. Jeff Bright back to 9th and will fall inside the top 10 to turn 1. Yeah, Dale Lightning grabs 9th. Griffin Lynn grabs 10th. The 5 back. Going to be back to about 13th here in the running order. As they got a big run on Lawrence Poundpond's 3rd and 4th did. Kukulon moved to 2nd, and Anthony Hernandez through to 3rd. Back to 4th as the 24 Lawrence Poundpond is going to get in line in that draft and try and latch on. But the distance to the 77 of Pinisolata continues to extend. Solata not doing any slow laps here today. Trying to stay out front. We're going to do a fly by the field. Look at the gap to Solata. That's the field trying to cling together here in the draft. Off turn 2. Right there you can see Josh Crash and Oliver Galway at the back of the field. Solata across the stripe there. These drivers just crossed the stripe now. The gap to the 77 of Pinisolata just under a second. Hernandez right into the back of the 21, gets tight, fades up the racetrack. Last lap was almost half a tenth faster for the 21, and company is back there sideways. I'm trying to tell it was Eli Bright and Patrick Smith who got together. Eli saves the car, Smith saves his car, and we do not have yellow flag as the 77 yells to come down pit road. Pit cycle starting here at Kansas just after the halfway mark. Kukulon takes the lead over, and this is not what Solata wanted to see, to pit first. And the only one to come down pit road is that 77. That is going to be crucial in how this race plays out. If a yellow flag comes out, that will ruin the 77 strategy when we trapped a lap down. But now, Kukulon, the 21, entering the pits this time. He pulls low. 3rd, 4th, 5th will stay out on the racetrack. Hernandez takes the lead. Poundpond now to 2nd, going for the lead. Green flag pit stops are happening here at Kansas. And now the front of the field's come together. Now Solata and the 77 really needs a great pit stop here. As long as the yellow does not come out. Down the backstretch, look at this battle for the lead. Look at Mathis Wells jumping to the inside of the 13. Jonathan Buford to turn 3. Less than down line. I believe these drivers may be coming down pit road. The 18 definitely is. Here they all come to pit lane. The 5 of Jeff Bright can stay out a lap longer. He's going to be banking in on a yellow coming out. Bright, the only one in the 5 to stay on the racetrack. Another car has as well. We'll update you on who that is in just a moment. It was Levi Shones in the 17 who also stayed on the racetrack. The 33 of Alexander Rowe, the 6 of Keegan Thompson. They all stayed out on the racetrack, hoping for a yellow to come out, but their wish is not going to be granted. They're going to have to come down pit road this time. It'll be with 14 laps to go when Jeff Bright hits the pits. Here comes the pink Hunt Brothers number 5 to pit road. The 17 Levi Jones soon to follow. Here he comes into the pits. The 33 Alexander, the 6 Keegan Thompson. They'll yield to the pit lane as well. The 6 Keegan Thompson, the 33 Alexander side by side. 33 lets the 6 go. And look at Kukulon. Great pit stop for the 21. Gets right out with the 77 Salata. Yeah, that's closer than anyone's been since that 77's taken over the race lead. And we'll see how these drivers do. Look at, there's Luke Rain. He was mid-pack when he came out of the pits. Anthony Hernandez back there. Max Anderson, the 98 car. 98 team at fast pit stop. Lynn out in front of the 77. Salata going to try and go around the outside, but right now leading the race, it's Max Anderson, the 98. Salata is second on the track. But the 98 team, great service in the pits. And now, here comes Jeff Braff, turn 2. Can he get up to speed fast enough to try and get out ahead of the 98 and the others? There's the 5, leaving the pits. Here comes the 98 turn 2. I think pitting later definitely helped you gain a ton of time. Jeff Bright in the 5. Pit strategy to get out front of Kansas. How about that for the 5 team? Jeff Bright playing the pit strategy right, staying out later than anyone. Obviously, the tires mean nothing. And there's the 98 back to him. 3.7 seconds. Salata was leading most of this race, dominating. Had a sure win in Hanselon's pit stops went right. Salata now back to 3rd. Kukulon 4th. Levi Jones has rebounded to 5th. The pit cycle, he was on the same strategy as Jeff Bright. Jones now up inside the top 5. How about Dale Lightning in the 1? Griffin Liz falling back. And the big gain as well. Luke Rain, the 2 is up here inside the top 10 now. Hernandez has really faded the 48 cars back outside the top 10. Back to 11th. Some other big names. How about Cole Luigi here in 12th? Where did he come from? Roberto Vera back to 13th. Looking back, here's Jake Galloway 15th. How about Patrick Smith starting on the pulleys back to 16th? Looking for more. Jonathan Beefer's up there. He's back to 18th. Wells is back to about 19th. Lawrence Palmpon back outside the top 20. Eli Bright the same there. So some names that are up at the front on pit cycles have now fallen back to mid-pack or the back half of the top 10. As leading the race, it's the 5 of Jeff Bright. Yeah, Diego Yepez, he's fallen 4 laps down the A7 car. So obviously pit cycle, something was gone wrong there. And he lost 4 laps. Now Jeff Bright, he has 10 laps to go, 15 miles. He wants all 15 of these miles to go caution-free. He wants to see those green lights every time he comes around a corner. Because they cannot run him down in the amount of time they have. It is, well, they are running him down, Kukulon and Salata, but if they get side-by-side at any point, they're going to lose all the time they've been gaining. And there they are side-by-side, Kukulon to the inside of the 77 Salata. This is the battle for second, and this is some points as well. Kukulon, he needs every point he can get. Salata wants to keep that points lead. Obviously, they're right now second and third. As Kukulon pulls away from the 77, can he have the test to run down Jeff Bright? Even when they were side-by-side, the gap closed in 0.3 of a second. And they were, as I mentioned, side-by-side. Kukulon, the 21, the tough task of running down the 5 of Jeff Bright. It's been about 2.5 seasons for the 5 team of Jeff Bright. Their last win, season number 6. The Auto Club 400, the second race of the season. Here we are, coming towards the midway point of season number 8. It's been that long for season number 2. Champion of the Gatorade Cup Series, Jeff Bright. He has the lead due to pit strategy here at Kansas. He has under 10 laps to try and hold them off. But Kukulon and Salata are 2 hungry drivers coming behind. Dale Lightning has emerged to 4th. That 1 car has come alive here late. Along with his teammate Cole Luigi, who's battled up inside the top 10. Luigi in the 42 currently scored 9th. He's battled with Hernandez, who's battled up towards the front all day long. And the 34, Steve Walker. This is a great battle right here. 3-way battle. Look at Luigi up behind the 34. Got Steve Walker arrow loose. And look at Rivera coming 3-1 in the 12 with that big move. Jones to the middle. This battle inside the top 10. Some big battles going on. Rivera's going to clear her by Anton Sharp on the 0-0. Smith in the 14 back from the pole. Back there, some big battles. We have to focus on this race for the lead because it is getting closer. 6 to go. It's down to 1 second. The last lap for Jeff Bright, 27.9. These drivers running 27.3s. I have to wonder if the drivers like the 5 and the 17, if they took fuel only on their pit stop, and these drivers may have taken tires. Because look at the run they have under the 5 of Jeff Bright. 5 to go this time by Kansas. Now Jeff Bright wants to see a yellow flag because it would end under the yellow. If a yellow comes out And they're running, I think Jeff may have just put fuel only in that machine, and these drivers took tires. Because they're running 0.6 faster. Back there, 3 wide, Code Luigi up top in the 42. Looked like the 14, Patrick Smith, was in the middle. But now to 4 to go. Look at Salata looking on the 21. He wants to be the first car to run down this 5. Here they come into Jeff Bright. Jeff's going to come down line to block the 77 off. 4 to go at Kansas, the 5-hour Energy 400. Jeff Bright fighting for his life. The team put him in that position. And now he's going to lose it. Look at the 77 to his corner panel. Side by side for the lead. Salata back to the inside, the dominant car of the day. And the driver used pit strategy. Pena Salata, the first tire is going to pay off. He gets by Jeff Bright. Now Kukulans to get around Bright and fast to try and keep touch with Pena Salata. 3 to go now. 4.5 miles. Kukulans going to get by. Look at Dale Lightning. With all this messing around, he's closed in. He could be a part of a 3-way battle for the lead. Here he comes to get by Jeff Bright easily. 3 car battle at the front. Anthony Hernandez of the 40 has emerged into the 5th position. Jeff Bright, that was a race-winning call out of the crew chief, but just did not get him out front enough. Levi Jones in the 17th mentioned he may have also taken fuel only. He's back to 13th, so obviously that call may be the same with Luke Ray as well, because some of these drivers, they may have taken fuel only, some may have taken tires, some may have taken 2. But with 2 to go, it is the battle for the lead. Kukulan and Pena Salata nose to tail down the backstretch for the lead at Kansas, coming to the white flag. And if they get side by side, where's Dale Lightning in the 1 go? Kukulan looking low. Off turn 4, maybe the bumper to the 77. Look at Dale Lightning hanging left. Try to get to the inside, can't. White flag last up, 1.5 miles, 3 cars. Salata, Sebastian Kukulan, Dale Lightning to turn 1. Kukulan needs to look low. If he doesn't, the 1 may look low first. Down the backstretch for the final time. Who's getting the left first? Kukulan does. To the bottom lane, Salata through 3 and 4. Can he hold it down there? He does. Now can Dale Lightning have a charge? Off turn 4, they race. Salata Demny will follow 3rd. Sebastian Kukulan last lap pass and will win. What a finish. What a race. Sebastian Kukulan gets out in front of the dominant car of the day on the last lap with a pass down the backstretch, and our dominant car have to sell for 3rd, but will definitely extend that points lead as Dale Lightning ends up between them in 2nd. He had definitely a shot to try and make it work. Sebastian Kukulan wins another Gatorade Cup Series race. Been so strong. The rookie season won 3, his 2nd of the season already. Let's now go check the finishing results. Here are the finishing results from the 5-hour Energy 400 at Kansas. No caution flags in this race. It was a very clean race, but it was also a very good race. 8 lead changes, 6 different drivers led laps. Sebastian Kukulan got out front at the end and just pulled away from Pena Salata, who ends up 3rd. Dale Lightning between the 2 in 2nd. There's Salata, our dominant car, 41 laps led. Left to sell for 3rd. Jeff Bright, the strategy with the no tire call, just fuel only, was just too slow there. We'll have to sell for 4th. And Anthony Hernandez moves up inside the top 5 at the end. Then Antonio Charles Bois, Roberto Rivera, Jake Galloway up inside the top 10. How about Griffin Lynn and Code Luigi rounding out the top 10? There's our top 20. Patrick Smith from the pole led 2 laps, 11th here today. Definitely not what he was going to want. Obviously, track position is big here at Kansas. But man, that pit stretch at the end definitely threw a lot of drivers and teams for a whirl. Levi Jones, Jeff Bright, some others take fuel only, and they fall late in the run. It was looking good for them, but it ends up being worse for them. And I think maybe that the drivers who came down first, they may have taken 4 tires. The drivers who came down next may have taken 2, and some may have taken fuel only. I think that's maybe what happened, that a big change throughout the course of this race. Diego Lopez issues on his pit stop, 6 laps down in 42nd. Let's now go take a look at the point standings. We are nearing the All-Star race, which is going to be a big time in this season. But first, here are the point standings. Pena Salata in the 77 with another great finish inside the top 5, moves up to a 146-point lead. Now Patrick Smith with a good day is up to 2nd. Steven Taylor, a horrible day for him. He never really was a factor. He falls back to 3rd. Jacob Davidson, quiet day for him. He ends up 4th. And Sebastian Kukulan, that 2nd victory, moves him up to 5th. He has an 88-point cover over Trip McGinnis, who is 6th. Justin Lightning, 7th. Anthony Hernandez, Luke Rainey, and Code Luigi hold the final spots inside the top 10. So there's our top 22 wild cards. Max Anderson 11th, Josh Crash in 12th, both with 2 victories so far this season. And how about the multi-time winners we've had this season? Steven Taylor, Sebastian Kukulon, Max Aronson, Josh Carter. Definitely unlike something we have ever seen here in these series. How about Luigi inside the top 10? No top 5s for that team so far this season. He is the highest in points without a top 5. Look at some of these names that are starting to claw their way up ever so slightly. Dale Lightning just outside the top 10. Lawrence Palmpon. How about Joe Jefferson? He started the season strong, fell below the top 20. He's back up inside the top 20 now. Eli Bryce started to come and emerge. TJ Henley as well. He started the season very slow, 60 DNFs. Those basically came this first 6 races of the season. He was basically down 42nd. Now he's up to 20th. As we now look down 21st to 40th. Tim Gary, Danny Lloyd, there's a winner right there. Steve Larker, 23rd. He desperately needs to get top 20. Same with Charles Robert, Carter Friesen, and Alexander Rowe. But they're down, Friesen and Rowe, below the top 30 in points. You can see down here some other big names that we have mentioned. Obviously, Ian McDowell, Nathan Stapleton, Carter Friesen down below 30th. Runner-up last season. Derek Hamill, Griffin Lynn, champion 2 seasons ago. Jay Jefferson, the 78 car, 35th. How about Jeff Bright, 38th. That's uncharacteristic. Same with Levi Shones, who's 39th. They both tried a Hail Mary there at the end, taking fuel only. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and Jake Galloway. Galloway, 7 DNFs on the season, the most of anyone. That's really the reason why he's down there. He's been consistent, but when he's not consistent, he is DNFing these races. That's why he's so far down the points. So after Kansas, we look ahead to the tricky triangle, which may be the last race to make the All-Star race. The Pocono 400, the Pocono Raceway. I'll see you guys then.